Is Fiverr worth it? Let's talk about it. Since the start of my screenwriting career, I've been doing side gigs on Fiverr and helping fellow screenwriters or talking with smaller production companies or producers and doing some side gigs with them. I earned a total of either $4,400 or $4,700 on Fiverr so far. And remember, this is since 2020, so it's nowhere near being able to afford living in Los Angeles just by working on Fiverr. But it was just a side cash thing for me that I started, and in the meantime I wanted to help some fellow beginner screenwriters, and it was also an opportunity to meet new clients and opportunity to meet fellow filmmakers or people who are in this industry or who want to be in this industry. Throughout the years, I had moments where I really wanted to quit Fiverr. I thought it was holding me back. I just wanted to quit Fiverr, move on, maybe do the same thing on my own website. But some of the good clients really kept me going. But I find myself at a point where I think about quitting again. I really wonder if it's holding me back or if it's a reassurance to have just on the side, running this small business on Fiverr. But considering the strikes that happen in Hollywood, in my industry, and how we can't depend on the work that we get from Hollywood, if you listen to anything about the WGA strike, we really cannot depend on the industry anymore to keep us going in Los Angeles and afford our lives, afford basic needs in Los Angeles. Most of the time that work is not that reliable. That's why I liked having Fiverr on the side, and I like having other projects on the side. That's why most of us try to get into commercials or copywriting, because that pays well and it is a bit more reliable because there's always commercials going on in the industry. Or you see Michael Jamin, I hope I pronounced his last name right, but doing social media, selling you books, selling you workshops and courses, which I appreciated. I subscribed to his email and everything, but you see him doing this because Hollywood is no longer reliable. And he mostly started, or I found him around last summer. So that was when the strike began. So in this video, let's talk about, is Fiverr worth your time? What made me get into Fiverr? Why I did it? Why I'm continuing? And if I should quit. I'm also going to talk about some terrible experiences I had with clients, which made me quit even more, and some disadvantages and advantages of being on Fiverr. But overall, we're going to answer the question, is it worth being on Fiverr as a writer, screenwriter, or an artist? In 2020, right after I finished my master's in screenwriting, the pandemic started. I was about to sell my show. I had 5 producers I was talking with, and they were so interested in my thesis that I finished during my MFA. My teachers really thought I could sell the show, so they connected me to these producers who read the script, and they really want to pitch it to bigger production companies, right? So I was really excited. But then suddenly the pandemic lockdown hit, and all those production companies shut down. Those producers missing. They most of them left Hollywood, by the way. There was a lot of people who left Hollywood, a lot of writers, a lot of producers. So I was just left with no connections other than my teachers, I guess, at that point. Not even fellow students. There was only just 2 people left in LA, and one of them was me. So I had nothing. And that's when I decided to start Fiverr, so I can do something on the side and have something I can rely on from time to time if things like this happen again. So at the beginning of my journey, I was keeping my prices very low, like $20 for a TV Bible, $25 for giving you feedback on your script. It was very, very low. And I did that because I wanted people to place an order so they can see how I'm approaching their work, how I care about their work, how I want to help them, so they can keep ordering and we can build connections and I can get some clients. That's why I kept my prices at a low. And I really am thankful that I did that. But with that came some lower quality clients who just want to shit on you. They're very shady, if I'm being honest with you. One of the biggest toxic clients I had was back in 2021, I think, and I don't know. I didn't know the gender at the time. They told me they worked on Disney before, some animated shows, and now they were working to sell this show they wrote. They needed some rewrites on the TV Bible, so I said, of course, I can do that. And I put the price to $25 at that time because it seemed like an easier revision rewrite process. And I wanted to grow my client base, so I wanted to make sure I connect with this person, charge them less, do them a favor. That's where I was coming from. And I took some extra time to revise the TV Bible, but also I took extra time to give some feedback to this client about their story. So I want to dive deep into some feedback like, oh, this character needs some work. I wonder if this will happen next. And I was very kind about it. I was like, this story is amazing. I wonder if it would be even more amazing to try this approach. I wonder if there's any conflict you can dig up here that might be really appealing to producers. I wonder if you could do this so it would be more timely. So that's where I was coming from. I did the revisions that she asked me. Plus, I did extra work to give her some feedback and hopefully help her develop and pitch the story even more. After I sent them the TV Bible with my revised sentences plus feedback for their story in the comments, they suddenly started writing very long messages and very rude. I don't want to go back and read them, but the way she spoke, I honestly thought she was an old Caucasian man. I didn't realize she was a she. It sounded like a very cocky, old producer who just wants to shit on people. Okay, that's what it sounded like. But then I realized she was a fellow diverse woman writer. And I was shocked that she would do something like this to a fellow woman diverse writer. You know, that was really weird. But she was being extremely rude and wanted to refund the money. It was like $25 refund. She wanted to get her money back just because I gave her extra feedback. She proceeded to say like, oh, I only asked for revisions. Why are you doing this? It sucks. Why am I receiving comments in the PDF? And I was just like, what? I thought I was doing you a favor because no one ever said in the history of screenwriting, I'm sure, no one has ever said no to free feedback. Okay, you want that feedback. Screenplay, that platform charges, I don't know, $125, maybe $150 for feedback, and people pay and get that feedback document every single day. There's a lot of people who charge a lot of money for script feedback, and even I sometimes purchase it. You have like writer friends you exchange notes with. Feedback is really important, and I didn't realize someone would get so angry for me giving them a feedback. If you have any ideas about why this might have happened, let me know in the comments, because she was acting like she was a seasoned Disney writer. And I actually went to her page because I was curious, and I saw that she had like 1 or 2 credits from some episodes on Disney shows. I was like, okay, how did you handle the getting notes from the creator of the show? Anyway, so I kept telling her she should request the revision and let me know what I can improve. I can delete the, comments I did. Like, I can just deliver the PDF without the comments, whatever she needed. And she can request a revision for free, because that's what I provide here. I also provide like a 1 revision free so that I can make sure the client likes what I did and likes the delivery. But no, she kept saying how I suck and I'm the worst writer she's ever met, or how I tricked her into getting $25. Like, what am I gonna do? Mind you, like, I'm gonna order 1 lunch and that's gonna be it. And Fiverr also cuts like 20% or something like that. So I got like $16 from that order, and even that she didn't want to give me. At that point, after all these long messages, I really wanted to give her money back and just move the fuck on, you know? But the thing is, $16 or $25 is not that much to pay to someone who just spent 3 hours on your TV Bible. I don't know, it was just so weird. But what really hit me was Fiverr didn't have my back, okay? I didn't insult this client at all. Like the messages, she called me a child, she called me a B word, she called me all kinds of stuff in these long ass messages. And I never called her anything. I was like, I'm really sorry if I offended you. I'm really sorry if I did this. I didn't realize. I thought I was doing you a favor. It's totally my bad. Please let me know what I can do. Please request a revision and I will definitely do my best to give you what you want. You know, so I really was being very kind to her, but she wouldn't stop. She just wanted a refund. She contacted Fiverr, then I contacted Fiverr, and Fiverr didn't have my back, even though there were curse words all over the place in those messages. Fiverr didn't tell the client to shut up, and Fiverr didn't block the client or even reached out to the client to stop doing that to their seller, you know. Fiverr told me it was my responsibility to find a common ground with this client who was cursing in each message. But this woman was just out of control. And I really wanted to quit Fiverr at that time. I was like, this is it. Fiverr sucks. And I just want to quit. Because like, I work for you. You cut 20% of my earnings, the orders I spent hours on. You cut that money claiming you found a client to me, but you won't have my back when a client that you found is cursing out and sending me insanely long, rude, crazy messages. While Fiverr can see how kindly I'm responding, but it's not going anywhere. For days we are there, stuck, waiting for what's gonna happen, and I was hoping Fiverr had my back, only to find out they don't. So that was the biggest experience though. I've never experienced anything like this. I maybe had like 500 gigs at this point completed on Fiverr, and I'm making it up in my head, like 500 is my guess. But I never had a client like this. If someone didn't like the work, I don't know if I had anyone who didn't like the work. I usually had like 5 stars. That was the only one who gave me 1 star. She made my 5 stars go down to 4.9. Even to this day, I never received anything less than 5 stars. And that 1 star review is still haunting me because it makes my rating 4.9. Seller level as well, it kept going down. So now my experiences with clients have been okay, other than this one. I really never had anyone like this, I swear to God. But most of the time, because they are beginner screenwriters who reach out to me and want my help, I have to really dive deep into their screenplays, and the pay does not reflect the time and energy and everything I put into the gigs in Fiverr. Because every time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spend 4 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours and I'm getting $200. But no, I'm getting 160. So that's fun. Fiverr cutting 20% from the net earnings. Plus, oh my God, this is also crazy. This was, I think maybe it was 2022. This was the first time a client tipped me really good. And then I realized 100% of the tip didn't come to me. They again cut 20% from the tip. That is a very big issue with Fiverr. Who cuts someone's tips? Tips are supposed to be an appreciation between client and the buyer. So imagine a restaurant cutting tips from the waiter. I don't know if that happens, but I'm sure it doesn't happen. Come on, there's no way someone cuts percentage from the tips. That doesn't make sense to me. That's so crazy. I reached out to Fiverr again and I was very angry, but very kind. It was kind of passive aggressive, but kind. I said, this is not acceptable. I did not realize you were cutting this much percentage from the tips. Tips are usually appreciation, but they basically told me that's how it works on Fiverr, and I can go F myself if I don't like it, because they won't do anything for their sellers. That's my biggest issue with Fiverr. They don't have your back. They will cut everything from you, yet still won't have your back. That's just crazy to me. It's so unhinged and not in a good way, okay? Then there was another client who is recent, so I don't want to talk about it, but we will talk about it in the future. So make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you like these types of videos where I talk about my experiences in Hollywood. If you want to pursue a career in screenwriting, filmmaking, or arts, I really share all my experiences and what I've been through so you don't make the same mistakes and so that we can empower each other. My goal is to build a genuine community here where we can share our experiences, because sometimes we're just stuck up in our heads a lot, and I don't mean stuck up in that sense, but more like, you know, sometimes client is being rude or abusive, like that $25 client who wanted to give the money back. I really wanted to press that cancel order button, just give her money back and just move the fuck on. You know, I didn't want to deal with her insanely long rude messages. I didn't want to deal with Fiverr who didn't have my back. But my friends and my connections in the industry who support me, they told me to not do it, because you don't know if they're not gonna use your order still. Because one, you already gave your time. Two, you don't know if they're gonna use your ideas or not for absolutely free. It's already just $25 that I did, and so many people have said like this is such a low charge for what you've done, and I know that already. But they empowered me to stand up for myself and say no to this client and let them know that I cannot refund the money because I already put my time into it. If you don't know, back in summer, the WGA strike, there were some movie writers who apparently got tricked by producers to write an entire movie that took months of process without any payment. And then the producer said, oh, I don't like it. You know what? I moved on from this idea. And then the writer wasted all that time to write that movie for the producer under a fucked up contract. So WGA, they changed the contract and everything. So it's better now. But it happens at every level. Whatever level you are, there are always people who want to take advantage of you. And I really want to build this community so we can share these experiences, expose these assholes, and, you know, like empower each other and stay strong, because we're finally at a place where we build professional boundaries and we follow through with these boundaries. That's really important. And that sums up all my negative experiences with Fiverr. But overall, Fiverr taught me how to stand up for myself, how to put those boundaries in. For example, I have specific hours I can reply to Fiverr messages, because there are a lot of people who abuse the power of messaging on Fiverr, and they try to squeeze out as much information as possible. There are people who ask me very insane questions about their idea show, and I'm like, do you want to work or do you want to get free opinion? And I love giving out free opinions. That's why I have this channel. I love sharing information, sharing experience, helping people out. But at some point you have to say no, because this is not my job right now and I have priorities. So Fiverr really helped me manage my priorities, make sure I'm taking care of myself first and focusing on the work that needs to be done first before anything else. I still have clients whose orders are done, and they're still texting me. They're still asking more information. And you know, it's so interesting because I just read, like, just paused this video. If there's any cut, it was because I was reading 2 messages on Fiverr. Both of those orders are done. One of them said, I am so sorry to disturb you, but I really need your help with this one thing. What would you suggest? Blah, 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 right? That's the question. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, here's what I would do. So I let them know. But the other client is going on and on about how I have to revise something. And I'm like, the revision, the free revision is already done. You also asked paid revision. That's also done. And I've moved on. Now you're asking me to revise this, revise that. I literally sent you the Word document, which is what I do too, by the way. I sent PDF and I sent Word because I know things change. I know you want to change some character names. I know you want to revise some stuff. I know you're writing the pilot script, so the TV Bible is going to change. That's why I provided you the Word document. I cannot do any changes for you anymore because you're trying to take advantage of me, and it's so obvious. Like, stop doing this. Some people also like promise
credits, which happens a lot. It's not just on Fiverr. It's just this industry. Everyone wants free work and in exchange for free credit, or the promise of their movie going to become something big, and they want your free labor. There's a lot of that going on in Hollywood, and I think that reflects on Fiverr a lot too. So that's all. But these two main things that made me want to quit Fiverr, or still make me want to quit Fiverr like every other week, is one, they don't have their clients back when a client is abusive, cursing out words in the messages. And two, they cut percentage even from the tips. That's so messed up. Those two things really give me the ick about Fiverr. But I do like the fact that I get to connect with newer writers. I love teaching. I love sharing what I know, what I learned from my mentors in the industry and things like that. And I love helping people, which is why I have this channel too, by the way. I should be a teacher maybe. Anyways, so it also helped me build professional boundaries, think about my priorities, and really make a schedule about what I do each day, so I don't burn myself out trying to get to Fiverr all the time, because that's just a side gig. It's like my maybe fifth side gig, so it's not the priority. It's just in the background, and I help clients. I do give a lot of time to Fiverr, by the way, even though it's my fifth side gig. But that's all. I hope this was helpful. I hope this helped you in some way. And thank you so much for being here. Take care and see you in the next one.